Hi, I'm Jonathan from Vespa Honey, and over the next few minutes I'm going to be sharing my first impressions of the Apisolis Vaporizer with you. I'm going to be splitting this film into two parts, okay? So the first part will be just showing you around the unit itself, and then the second part will go out to the apiary and we'll actually we'll show it in use, okay, and I'll give you my my verdict so far. So before I get on with that, just a couple of caveats. Number one, I am a hobbyist beekeeper. I'm not a commercial farmer or anything like that, and I've not been paid to do this. This was purchased out of my own back pocket. And the other thing is that there will be things that you'll see in the film and you'll think, crikey, I wouldn't do it like that, okay? So as I mentioned, I've just started out in beekeeping for 4 years, okay? So I've got loads to learn. So go easy on me, won't you? Okay, so first up, let me show you something else that you'll be really familiar with. Okay, so this is the Dayton smoker, and it's been with me for 3 or 4 years. It's quite a nice big one, and it's great for smoking the 4 hives that I've got at home. I've got WBC hives, okay, not that makes any difference whatsoever. Now, this does stink a bit. This is in the house at the moment, so it's not lit. So if I open that up, it is in need of a good old scrape and clean, okay? So that's the thing that I've been using. Now, my motivator for coming away from this was that I learned about this vaporizer, and I thought, well, that's quite good, because the thing I don't like about this is that after my beekeeping sessions, I come into the house and nobody wants to be with me for the next few hours because I smell of smoke. It's in my hair, it's on my clothes, I'm coughing, that's not good for my health. The other thing is, this thing is bloody hot, okay? So, you know, it's got a fire inside, and if you're not careful, it will be very hot on the bees. You get very hot embers coming out. You can see it coming out, and it's, you know, it's possibly not very good for the bees. The other thing is that from a safety angle, it's quite dangerous. So if you're not careful with it, and you know what it's like when you're out with the bees and you've got your head in the bees and you're trying to work out little problems, the last thing that's gonna be on your mind is your smoker. When you knock it over or something like that, very easy to set fire to something. So I wanted to find a better way of doing things. So this thing here, I haven't got the box anymore, I threw it out, but it came with instructions. They're really easy to follow, and it came with this yellow charging cable. So that gives you a clue about the biggest difference with this. It is battery powered. There's no fire. Okay, so you need to charge it first off, and in the top there is a charging port. You can see that. So you just literally plug it in, connect it up to your little charger, and away you go. I think it's about 3 hours to charge it up from scratch. And if you hold it upside down and squeeze it, okay, it will come on, and hopefully it will behave for me, and it will tell you what the charging levels are. Okay, so there are 3 colors, red, amber and green, and that will just basically indicate whether it needs charging. Okay, there you go, we've got a green light on there, I think. That's good. And the thing does know whether it's that way up or that way up, which is quite clever. Okay, right, so a bit like the bellows are identical to the ones we know and love. They're made from PVC, I think, and then they've got like a wooden back and front on them. Okay, exactly the same, the feel exactly the same. This is probably marginally lighter than this. Quality feels quite good, to be honest. I mean, what do you expect? It's plastic, but it's good quality plastic. Right, okay, there's no on-off switch on this. Weird, eh? But no, it's not, okay? It's good because it will time out after 20 minutes. So if you leave it on, it will just turn off and conserve the battery for you. So that's a nice little feature. On the actual contraption itself, let me just introduce you to this. Now this is the tank. Okay, so it's a plastic bottle that you can refill, and you need to buy yourself some of this. Okay, I think it's about 10 or 15 quid. Now you can see my little reservoir there, it hasn't gone down very much. That is the product of about 16 inspections. So I've got 4 hives at home and I've used it 4 times over. Okay, so smells really nice actually. And then on the top is something called, I think it's called a coil, okay, and you have to buy these. Okay, now this is a pack of 5. I'm new to this, so bear with me. And inside you'll find one of these, okay, and that lives in the top of the tank. You put a little bit of oil on there, and this oil, by the way, and I'm not sure how long they last for, but obviously they've got some sort of lifespan. I've got a pack here and I'm prepared, so I reckon these should last me a couple of years or so. This will probably last me the whole season this year. And all you do, after you've charged it, pop it in there, and then to turn it on, hold it that way, and you squeeze it 2 or 3 times. There we go, now it's on. So it's telling you that it's on, okay. So what I'm gonna do is just squeeze it in the normal way. You know how to do this. Okay, there's not a lot of vape coming out at the moment. Here we go. So if I just move that to the side. Okay, so we're inside the house. I bet you wouldn't do that with your conventional smoker. Now you'll notice I'm not coughing. That's the biggest difference. This isn't smoke. There you go. So there's quite a bit coming out. And it lingers. Biggest difference with the vape and the smoke is heavier, okay? And you'll see this on the hive. So when you puff it out over the frames or onto the bees, the old-fashioned smoke will fall a little bit into the frames, okay? So that's the biggest difference. So you need to use this thing slightly differently to you would your conventional smoker. And probably you need to think about the weather a little bit, as we would normally do as beekeepers. So if there's a bit of a breeze, then you may not want to go in there and inspect, or you might actually want to revert to your usual traditional smoker. Anyway, we'll see that in action in a few minutes' time. I think that's all we need to say about this. So let's go and get suited and booted, and I'll see you in the apiary. So here we are, we're at the apiary. Behind me we've got the 2 WBCs in the front garden. We're going to be focusing on hive B over here, which is should be a mild-mannered colony. It's got a queen in there, and they have, from memory, they've got 2 supers in there. So I'm just going to show you a close-up of the bees, then with the vapor. There you go. So again, we've got the bees descending. Obviously, if you're using smoke, it would be for a reason, because you'd be wanting the bees either to move away, move down, or to try and conceal some of the pheromones, the attack pheromones. So what we'll do is we'll now take out a couple of frames. It's good. Lots of capped drone. A couple of bees landing on me at the moment, which is to be expected. I'm just going to use the vapor just to move the bees away from there. So again, just using the bellows away from the bees because of the noise, and just using it to clear a little bit of a patch here. I used to blow the smoke on my face, so I'm now doing that across my veil. That's cleared probably 8 of the 10 that were buzzing me. And I'm not coughing, which is quite good. So fairly effective in clearing the bees along the tops of the frames. Safely on there, I know that I'm not going to be causing a fire. So this is the bottom brood box. So a lot more activity with the prime bees coming back in, and a few more guard bees around my head. Okay, so I think that's enough. I'm just going to give a few puffs on my veil. Very good. Right, brood boxes. Keep going, girls. Great job. So again, just using the Apisolis. Slightly windy, not very hot, and it's not sunny. It's quite a lot of cloud. Okay, so let's just see if we can calm them down a little bit. So I'm using this now to try and disrupt the pheromones. I've got about 10 around my veil at the moment. So a quick puff on the veil as well. Stand back. It's probably reduced the buzziness around my ears by maybe 20-30%. I'm not giving up, and maybe one wouldn't expect them to give up. Okay. Well, it was always going to be a little bit more demanding because of the size of it. It's double brood and expanding well. The direct contact with the bees is placating them a little bit, but what you might be able to see is I've got a few bees around my head at the moment, so they're not completely happy. So what I'm going to do is, I've done one brood box, I'm going to cover them over, and then I'm going to put it back together again and walk away. I think they've probably had enough. I'm fairly happy that all is okay though. So what's my verdict? Well, number one, I'm probably not using the product as it should be. I'm still learning to use it. It is a tool after all. Number two, my beekeeping, I've got a lot to learn on that as well. So would I be giving up my normal smoker? Well, I think it's actually a little bit early to tell. We had 2 hives today. One was very mild-mannered. The second one, I was expecting it to be a little bit feisty. It was rammed full of bees, and they weren't aggressive. Did this work? It seemed to push the bees down to begin with. Did it get them away? Did it seem to cover up those pheromones? I don't know whether it did on that occasion. Would a smoker have been any better? I'm not sure. In the half an hour that I've been out, the wind has got up. If I look up into the sky, it's cloudy, and actually there's forecasting rain as well. So it's not a good time to be opening up a beehive. So I think the lesson here is, this is great for sunny conditions, for usual conditions. If you know that you've got a hive that's particularly hissy, or the weather conditions aren't great and you have to go in, I would probably use the conventional smoker, but I haven't got it lit today. It's actually on the porch at the moment. I haven't been stung today, but there you go. So lots more to learn. I'll keep it in my kit bag, and as always, it's a tool and you've got to learn how to use it. Thanks for watching.